everybody. So there's another video of how I became a martial artist. So it's story time. And again, this is my channel, Combatant's Philosophy. Main purpose for this channel, for this story today is, just awareness of, if you're a parent, you have kids, you want to know what the martial arts does, what it does for a person, even for yourself. We have adults that join martial arts in the classes that we have, where I train. We have people starting as adults, and they find a lot of benefit in it. So let's start the story. So last time I left off, when I was in junior high, in 9th grade, joining martial arts, where I did not fight the person I was going to fight, who was a kung fu martial artist. So basically, me and him became friends. We became really good friends. So we were training during the summer. At the same time, I was going through a football practice. I had mariachi practice. So, when school started, basically I had to choose, to leave one of them because, to focus on my grades. So I ended up leaving mariachi and football practice because I felt like I found what I wanted with the martial arts. And you might think to yourself, okay, well, mariachi is something like more cultural. It's a really good it's a good benefit to know how to play an instrument, which is very true. If you're into music, go for it. Join a band, do mariachi, And then football practice, well, that's an extracurricular activity. Builds your strength, builds your speed, agility. Nothing wrong with football. I'm not a big fan of sports, of watching sports, but I do love playing them. So now again, at this time, I didn't really have too many friends. I had some friends, but I was already I didn't really trust people a lot at this point, for the way with everything was a bullying and feeling like always like if somebody was wanting to fight me, I had to fight them first. So joining the martial arts, I became best friends with this kung fu practitioner. His name's George. So when school started, we started hanging around together, and then things were different. I had somebody to really relate to. So since our biggest connection was kung fu, we would actually try to practice, during our free time. We would during free time on PE, we would practice martial arts. Practice our fighting, our kicks, our punches. During lunchtime, we would practice some of our techniques that we learned the day before. We would go home afterwards, and if I go to his house, we train outside his house, warm up. If you go to my house, we'll do that at my house, and I would have a little obstacle course of martial arts there to practice in. So I got really committed to the martial arts at this point. It's 9th grade. So it started becoming more of a way of life versus just a hobby. So, obviously when you focus on one thing too much, other areas can tend to suffer. Even though in the martial arts they teach you how to learn differently, how to use all your different ways of learning, being hands-on, visual, or physical. Somebody shows you, or verbal, somebody tells you how to do something. We learn in so many different ways when we're at in the martial arts. So you can apply that to any other thing, school, studying. But my grades started to suffer at school. So at this point, my mom, who was the one paying for my classes, obviously, I was only 13 years old, going on 14. She told me, you know what, you got a D in English. It's funny, English. I got a D in English. So she told me, if you don't fix that D, I'm taking you out of martial arts. I mean, it's very good leverage. Obviously, in her eyes, her paying for my classes every month, buying me equipment like shoes, kung fu pants, martial arts shirts, sparring equipment, money for tournaments. It's a huge investment. So she saw it as it's something she's giving me. It's a gift, and it really was. So she knew, if you don't do better in school, you don't focus on school, then you're not gonna be going back. So I started doing better in school. Whatever I had to do, I did it. If I had to go to tutoring, I would go to tutoring. If I had to ask my teacher questions that I was embarrassed to ask, I would ask her, because I didn't want to leave the martial arts. So I did whatever I had to do to get a better grade, and I did. I ended up with a B, I think. I made that D into a B, and I think that's something most parents like to see, that progress, that their kids can actually get a good grade. So I kept up that rhythm at school. I made sure not to get anything lower than a B. If anything dropped down to a C, I would just work harder and push for at least a B. That mentality actually got me a few A's. So I had maybe out of 6 classes, I probably had 4 A's, 2 B's. But I could tell you that a big part of that was being in the martial arts, being in kung fu. My mom had leverage. I had something I cared about. I didn't want it taken away. So parents, usually when your kids want something, there's a good way to give them your conditions to give it to them. And again, it's positive. I stopped looking for fights. I wasn't worried about bullies anymore. I had a friend who would actually stand by my side. So I didn't really have to. I had more confidence in anything, more inner confidence, more inner peace. Honestly, my biggest worry was getting the technique right on the next martial art movement. So, that's one way of looking at how I became a martial artist. It's doing what my mom said, get better at school. She was happy with the grades. I was happy being in the martial arts. Now, in the next video, I'm going to talk more about the actual martial art class and the extracurricular activities. Just like school, martial arts has extracurricular activities. So parents, don't just think, oh, I'm going to put my kid into martial arts, they're going to learn how to fight, might become aggressive, might not become aggressive, they'll be able to defend themselves. It's not just that. Every style has their tradition. And some of those traditions are holding demonstrations, holding exhibitions, presentations. We're also promoting the martial arts. We want to show its culture. So that's going to be the next video. I'm going to end this one here. I'm going to start the next one separately. I don't want you guys to be having to watch a 20-minute video. So we're almost at the 10-minute mark, guys. So now the next video is going to be how the martial arts, took me out of my shell of being a shy person. Alrighty. See you guys in a bit.